Dinka people live in the center of South Sudan, a state located in the northeast of the African continent. One of the largest wetlands in the world, the Sud, is located in the White Nile Valley. It is in these flooded areas that the Dinka people live. The Dinka live in small clay huts covered with palm leaves. There is no furniture inside the dwellings, only 2 or 3 cow skins on the ground for sleeping. That is all that the hospitable host can boast of. The settlement is surrounded by gardens and small fields where the Dinka grow maize and sorghum. However, this is not their main occupation. These settlements are usually inhabited by families who do not own their own livestock. They are called farmers. Nevertheless, the rest of the clan head to the cattle camp. Exhausted by decades of civil war and intertribal conflicts, the Dinka people are preoccupied with one thing day in and day out: their cattle. The life of the Dinka tribe is divided between their permanent homes and the cattle camp. A wife for a Dinka man is an expensive pleasure. If a young man decides to marry a girl from another clan, the wealth of the bride's parents increases many times over. The bride price is 100 or more cows. Often the groom has to give away his entire herd, and in some cases, he even has to borrow from all his relatives and friends. He simply goes bankrupt. In this case, the young family is forced to live in the settlement, growing maize and sorghum. It is not the groom's parents who arrange the marriage, but the groom himself. They call it conducting wedding negotiations. Usually, the young man invites his best friend for this ceremony. And it is not a one-time event. It is a series of negotiations where the bride price, that is, the number of heads of cattle that the groom must give to the bride's family, is determined. The bride's family is greeted by the older men of the bride's clan. They are already familiar with the groom, as they have carefully studied the character of their future relative. Their support is very important for the groom, as they can refuse, no matter how much the groom promises for the bride price. For such brides, they give away 100 or more cows. And first, the older men of the clan decide whether to give the girl to another clan. And only then, when they agree that the groom is worthy of the bride, they smoothly move on to haggling. They determine the number of cows. The bargaining can take several days until the parties come to an agreement. But that's not all. After a few days, the whole clan will gather, and they will have the final say in this matter, whether to accept or reject the groom's proposal.